Forgot camera.
I know. I'm an idiot.
All good.
Nice. Enjoy.
Cheers for that. TT's pass. That's one down, two to go. So the Mark 5 Golf has passed. So we're going to take that back now. But the Mark 2 needs some stickers changing, and then that'll be all good as well. So that'll be 3 out of 3.
Right then, so today's Friday, it's about 6:30, something like that, 7 o'clock. So we're ready for the 6 Hour Birkett Relay Race tomorrow. So, quick rundown of what it is, just so that people understand who did watch the last race. But basically, this is our garage. We've got 2 teams, so normally you'd share it with another team who maybe you don't know, which can cause hassle. But basically, there's 6 cars in our garage, 2 of them are not here yet. Basically what happens is, you all queue up in your order that you want to go out in, which you have to tell them to start with. And then, after qualifying, we'll talk about that in a second, when a car drives past the garage, that's kind of, you're handing the baton over, and the other car can drive off, and can overtake you in the pit lane if it needs to, if you're going slow. But basically, as soon as you drive past the apron of the garage, as I say, you will set straight off. So if you have a problem and you can't get back, or you have a crash and you can't get back, the relay is handed over when you get out of the car, let the team know that you're out of the car and the car's immobile. So that's pretty straightforward. 6 hours, and just split up however you want to. If it were wet, we'd do 2 hours each. And because it's probably going to be dry tomorrow, we're going to try and do an hour and a half per session. So me and Scott are probably going to get 2 hours each. We'll see. So, as you can see on Steph's Mark 2, we've got 13, which all 3 of our cars have got 13. The other team are running on number 4. But then we've got an F and a C here. So this is literally just the order of the qualifying, and then that also determines which driver in the car, so they know who's in the car. If you've got 2 drivers in the car, they know who it is. If you've only got 1, you just have that on, and 13 F would be me. The C is going to be Scott now, so I think that's the way that it's going to go. So this qualifying sessions A, B, C, D, E, F. So there's 6 sessions, so you can have 6 cars, or in this instance we've got 3 cars and we're going to run 2 qualifying sessions each, so each of us can drive each car. Because you might set off in the Golf and have an issue immediately and have to get straight out of the TT. So you've got to be prepared for all these things. There's only 2 drives and 3 cars, it might be a little bit more difficult than last year when we did it, not last year, the last time we did it. Do 3 drives and 3 cars. Anyway, we're there. So the Golf all past scrutineering, which this is the first time proper scrutiny has been done on any of our cars this year. We've got one, the 330D got a quick looking at the Silverstone last time, but not a proper one, just a quick, make sure the harnesses and everything are alright. They've had a proper fun of going through. This pass was just shocking. It's a new build, these are a little bit too small, which I said they were, but anyway. That just literally needs the cam cover pretty much ready. TT, we've already covered up these numbers, so you can't go out with both numbers showing, or letters, I keep saying numbers, letters. You can see number 13 still. This is going to run number 6 whenever we race it. No problems there. So we're just sorting out the brake ducting on this, because it's got a little bit caught, we're going to stuff like that. So, not sure what we're going to do this weekend, because we are live streaming everything. Somebody wants to talk to us now, so.
Oh, sorry.
We're just filming then. It's on set then. Which can't remember where I want to. So, as we got interrupted by the lady coming around making sure that we've not got too many cars here, it's one vehicle per team, which is a bit hard when you've got just 6 cars and stuff everywhere. Garages end up being absolutely filled to death with stuff. But it should be alright for us because we've got 2 teams, so we're going to make sure we've got what we need, where we need it. Yeah, we'll just see what happens in the morning. We've got a lot of stuff. Graham's empty his van out, so we'll see. And Danny will probably leave some of that discussion we just had in the recording. But basically, we're going to be live streaming from the cars and live streaming from the pits. We're trying to make that into a video. See what happens. We might do something we don't want to do. We shall see from there. So, wish us luck.
Time do you call this?
Pool time.
There's always one.
You can't park there, sir. Good morning. Race day. Let's see if everything can go to plan. Probably won't all go to plan, but we'll make it happen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are at Birkett 2021. It's going to be absolute carnage. Are we going to have cars that are going to survive? Probably. We got a spare over there, so should be good. See how it goes.
So, all our cars are in the garage. We saw them yesterday. Danny's going to hate this, going out of focus and stuff. Nick's is finally ready. Dylan's is finally ready. A couple of little scrutineering issues. If I get anybody any advice, pull all your pull cords if you've got the old type before you come. That's always the problem we have with any car. That's why we have buttons. But then Nick's button didn't work as well. But anyway, forget about that. So they're here, qualifying. We're going to get underway. I'm not going to try and work out what order everybody's going in because it might end up being a free-for-all. But basically, everybody's going to get out in qualifying. Do your 3 laps. No need to push because this is sort of, I forgot to say about it yesterday when we were talking about it, but how this works, it's an handicap system. So if you're in a car that does a 2-minute lap, which will be quick, and then there's somebody else in a car that does a 4-minute lap, for you to win in your 2-minute car, you've got to do twice as many laps as the guys in the 4-minute laps. So simple and complicated at the same time, but obviously that's when it's easy. It gets very complicated, especially if people go quicker in qualifying than they said they were going to do and stuff like that. So we've kind of got a reference lap, which is our quickest lap, so we are going to be pushing, and we can't go any faster than that, basically. Or we shouldn't go any faster than that. So we'll see how we get on. So, qualifying started. Scott's on track at the minute, that's him. So, that's all good, just warming tyres up, not attacking, make sure the car's alright. Tom's on the radio to him, so he can keep communication with him. Live timing on there. We've got a live stream going to be showing on here when the race starts. That's the official live stream. And yeah, we've got a bit of all sorts going on here, but they've already come and called me and said I need to hurry up, so we get in the car, my turn to qualify. quality in the TT, and I'm sorry if I'm shouting, but I'm going to get straight out in the Golf. I'll go out in the Golf because Scott's already out in the Mark II, so see how we get on.
Good, Scott?
Yeah, it seems alright. A few little bits to look at, bit of scrubbing from wheel arches, but other than that, seems alright. So I'm just doing my second qualifying in the Golf. I don't know why Danny's got a different camera, but he has. So I'm just ready to go out in the Golf, in the Mark II. We're probably not going to use this in the race, or we're hoping not to, but see what happens. I'm getting tired.
Makes the Birkett a true relay is what happens in the pits. Unlike a conventional endurance pit stop where a car would stop, swap driver, new tyres and so on, in the Birkett we like to do things a little bit different. Like a normal race, you would still call your driver in off the track, and as the first guy is called into the pits, instead of stopping, it will drive straight past the team garage. Yes, you heard that right, past the team garage. As soon as that's happened, the second car is then released right behind the first one, pending that it's cleared to do so, of course, and both cars would head straight down the pit lane. At the end of the pit lane, the first car peels off into the paddock, with the second car then shooting straight out to the circuit to continue the race for the team.
Good morning and welcome along to Silverstone for the 70th anniversary Birkett Relay with 70 teams about to take part in this 6-hour handicap race. You can see the cars here starting to assemble ahead of this 6-hour race. A huge variety of cars. We've got some radicals here towards the front of the grid. You've got some Caterhams, sports cars, as well as some production cars a bit further back. And the race, which will begin in about half an hour or so, we'll grab a word, I think, with some of the drivers. Let's see if we can grab a word with the Parkin brothers, who are doing this on with two drivers. You like to open the door? So you've got, I think, 3 cars here between the two of you, is that right?
Yeah, so it's always good to have a backup, so that's the plan. So we're hopefully just going to use the Golf and the TT, and then the Mark II will just be a backup if anything goes wrong, which fingers crossed.
And lots of driving for you to do today.
Yeah. I'm hoping I get at least half of it, maybe a little bit more. So we'll see what happens.
And have you got any plans if you end up getting stuck out on circuit or anything like that?
Any plans to what? Sorry.
If something happens, if you're out on circuit, if you get stuck out.
Yeah, we've gone through all the contingencies. what if this, do that? So yeah, fingers crossed we don't have to go there, and we just do a stint to the time that we're expecting and have a trouble-free race.
And what's it like going from one car to another?
I've been doing it all season. I've been jumping out of a KA into this, and then from this into a Ford Focus. So yeah, I've done quite a few different cars. So it's pretty good at adapting to how each car behaves. So yeah, should be good.
Well, best of luck. Look forward to seeing how it goes. So that's the Scott and Ross Parkin team.
Right then, we're live. So this might not work. It might work. I'm not too sure. And less I talk, more you just see inside of Scott's car while he's just stood there, so we'll see what's happening.
but qualifying's over. Couple of little issues with the TT fuel surging, which probably had about 15 litres in when that were happening, which is not ideal. Steph's Mark II, battling with it, blowing the coolant out when it were at the test day at Blyton, and it looks like that problem's not really stopping, so that is really a reserve. Not bad lap times in that, 2:35s, 2:36 or something like that, which is in line with the Ibifas and Nick's Leon. The TT, Scott's been out and beat my time by a little bit, which I think you're probably pushing a bit too hard to do that. I don't really need to push that hard, but it is what it is. And then Scott's out in the Golf now, sat there waiting to go, and yeah, he's just had an interview, and we'll have to see how the race pans out.
I think this must be the Team Darkside car that we're on board with now, although I can't see the number on that car. It is yes, the 13 Darkside Developments car.
They've been watching their Grand Prix racing or their touring car racing to get in all the weaving.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's a good view on board the one of the cars that was shared by Scott and Ryan Parkin, the brothers. We saw them out as well in the Club Enduro race at Alton Park recently. As the green flag now waves, the safety car has pulled in, so now we can have overtaking.
Again with in the Golf,
yeah,
emitting a reasonable amount of black exhaust smoke. Yeah. I noticed from an external picture.
Yeah, that's the Darkside Developments car. Scott Parkin aboard at the moment, and he's up behind one of the Caterham 7s at the moment, and that I think is actually for 7th and 8th position, isn't it? Yes, it is. 21 Billy Boy's car is just ahead, so this is for 7th and 8th position overall. They're going very well in the Golf. Attempt at the Birkett, and all the Golf going around the outside at Brooklands, but almost running off the road. Not as far off the road as the Seat ahead of us, but certainly going quite wide at Brooklands corner. But I think he might have got the position because the Caterham now is not in view, so I think it must be behind us, and they're going to come up to the line very shortly. So we'll get an update on the timing screen in a moment, I expect. It's given a thumbs up out of the window there. And yes, the Darkside Developments car is now ahead by 0.2 of a second for 7th place. Car 13 ahead of number 21. That's the Billy Boy. So a change of position there for 7th on scratch. And it's great to be able to watch this from on board, see the work that Scott's doing in the car as well.
It looks really good fun in there with that potent Golf. Now up behind the VW Beetle clone. Dispenses with that. And onto the hangar straight.
It's the Angel BMW, isn't it?
An Angel, yeah. Then going past one of the Toyota Roadsters as well. I'm going to try to duck through the middle.
Yeah, that's the Aaron Cook car, I think. And that's the car we're on board with now, and you can see, yes, there's the black smoke from that Golf spurting out towards Aaron. And see,
it's got some torque, hasn't it?
Oh,
and the BMW does. So there's the Billy Boy's car. That's Carl there, just up ahead, and you can see how nimble that Caterham is. That's all the sort of hallmarks of coming into the pits, I think. Some point 4B is that, I think it is.
Yeah, that's the Darkside SeatSport team, which is the team of Seat Ibiza TDIs and Seat Leon TDIs, Dylan Brichter, Michael Smith and Nicholas Bosch, so 3 drivers sharing.
So here's the TT then, so Ryan Parkin, they're 7th overall, so they're doing a really good job, aren't they, in these in the Volkswagen Golf Mark 5 first, now the Audi TT. They were saying to me earlier, or Scott Parkin was telling me earlier, they're hoping just to run these 2 cars, the Mark II Golfs, the substitute if something goes wrong with the other 2. And these 2 have been front runners in the Track Day Trophy Championships this year. And they're just ahead of that Caterham, so they've both changed cars now, haven't they? And they're pretty close together.
Yeah, very much so. TT and...
it's a different team of Caterham's now, I think. It's the 7 Series Midlands team, number 32 behind.
They've moved ahead of Billy Boys, yeah.
Yeah, so they've got a Caterham to battle with in the scratch positions, but a different one now. And the TT, I suspect, is quite a different car to the Golf, isn't it?
It's probably not dissimilar mechanically,
right,
but it's certainly packaged differently. TTs are just such nice cars. They're great to drive on the road. I had one for 3 or 4 years, but not a super developed one like this, I have to say. But we really did enjoy it.
It's surprising there's not more of them racing, really, isn't it? As you say, a really nice car.
lap. 1 minute.
So I've just done my stint in the TT. Not sure how long I did. I could definitely have done more, and I'd have liked to have done more, but because we're having the misfire issue before, we've had to really richen it up, and you can smell the fumes inside the car, and it seems to be absolutely drinking fuel, but as well, it seems to be surging when we've still got probably nearly half a tank, so there's something not right there. I think maybe we're just flowing a bit too much for that in-tank pump or something like that, but not happy with it. The car's absolutely flying, easy to drive, but yeah, not happy with the amount of time we've got in it. I think I only got half an hour before it started spluttering, and probably only done 45 minutes or something like that, which we needed to do at least an hour in this, and then the Golf needed to be at least an hour and a half, but we'll see. I didn't know what fuel it had in and stuff, but we'll do some more filming, probably live. I'll get some more facts straight, and we'll go from there. So this should have been a live thing, but the live stream will resume shortly. We're hoping we didn't need this screen, but we're glad we made it now, because for some reason Scott's been out about an hour or something like that, and he's had a problem with the live stream, so there's a cable unplugged or something stupid like that. So we'll see what happens. So the live stream will be starting when I go out, which might be another half an hour or something. But Tom looks a little bit worried, so it might be sooner than that, but we shall see. We'll be from there.
There's the parking Golf that's back out there. That started the race. So I assume they're staying really in the same car, aren't they? Because where they're going from one to the other.
Yeah, and they're just trying to run, as you say, those two cars with the Mark II Golf in reserve.
So Scott Parkin's driving the newer Golf, and Ryan Parkin's driving the TT. When they did Club Enduro in the TCR car a few weeks ago, Scott Parkin did all about 15 minutes of the race. His brother only got 15 minutes of it, but he got the fastest lap of the race. He was quicker than Cole Swifter, the champion, in Rob Baker. So they were really rapid in their first go in the area motorsport hire car, and they go really well in this Golf. 7th overall on scratch. So the only of the sort of production team cars they're behind, AAA, which is the Seat TCR and the Lotus Europa, and the Pepper and Lay team, which is sort of M3s.
It's a wide line by that Honda, kicking up the gravel.
All good?
All good.
No problems?
Few of those earlier cars going. Here's the parking Golf, and just behind should be the Caterham, which is then no more, is it? Perhaps that's been in the pits. Perhaps there it is. So it's fallen down a bit. Yeah, it's 6 seconds now, the gap on the last lap. The Darkside Developments Golf was 5 seconds a lap quicker. Side by side there into Cops was the parking Golf with a Caterham, but not sure if that was for position. No, I don't think so. So not for position this time.
There's the parking Golf, having a good tussle with the Clockwork Orange, the Lotus Elise. Craig Denman car looks at things. Oh, and 21A leapt over the curb there.
That is the Darkside Developments car, 13A. So it's the Scott Parkin Golf that we saw out in the early stages of the race as well. See the diesel smoke from the back of the Mark V TDI.
The very quick Darkside Racing Golf is probably as quick as anything bar the Radicals through Abbey. Yes. So fast through there.
Left-hander, there is the Darkside Developments car. That's the car that, unofficially at least, is leading on handicap at the moment and is 5th overall. Scott Parkin in Golf. Turning its way through the left-hander at the Vale. As you can see, it's the Grand Prix circuit that's used, not the historic version of Vale, which can be used on occasions.
Golf TDI Mark V. Mark V Golf was the one that had the much superior rear suspension than any other models, but was too expensive to produce, so they kind of put that aside, parked that idea, and went to the sort of other cheaper one for the Golf 6. Still great cars.
Absolutely right. So Darkside Developments car just took him behind the rear wing of a Radical there. And the corner's keeping pace with it.
It's quite a concept, isn't it? Diesel Golf chasing down a Radical.
Well, here we are down in pit 2A, and I'm talking to, I've got to get this right, it's a Scott Parkin, and the older of the twins, with Ryan at the moment out there. Well, Scott, I have to say, it's rather ambitious, isn't it, just having 2 drivers? How many cars you got?
We've got 3 cars, but we've both qualified in all 3 cars, so if there's a problem with any of them, we can jump in the other one, so that should work quite well. But at the minute, the Mark II Golf's not very healthy, so that's literally the last backup. You know, if everything goes completely wrong, then we'll use that, but so we're trying to use the TT and the Mark V instead.
So what series do you normally run with?
So we normally run in the MSV Super Cup and the MSV Track Day Championship in the Golf, and just the Super Cup in the TT.
Ah, so it's okay. And after 3 hours, you're actually leading the handicap. So that's a good result.
Yeah, but it's only halfway, so we're not going to start counting as chickens. But yeah,
typical Barnsley boy.
Yeah, this is it. But yeah, it's pretty good. The car feels pretty good. We're a little bit down on the stint time. We were expecting to get at least 1 hour and 30 minutes in the Golf and over 1 hour in the TT. But with it being perfectly dry and it's just quali laps every lap, we're sort of down to just over 1 hour and 20 on the Golf and probably 50 minutes in the TT. So it's not ideal for strategy, but you know, we'll just we'll work with it.
Are you going quicker than you anticipated then if you're using more fuel?
Maybe a slight little bit. We were sort of expecting to be in the low 224s, and I think I just dipped into the 223s, but not much quicker. I just think because it's so dry and we're just on it constantly, it's just using that little bit more fuel. And the TT, we've never run it for longer than 45 minutes, so we had no idea how long that were going to last. And we're limited by how soon it surges, so we've still got quite a bit of fuel in the tank, but it just starts to surge more and more, and then you have to come in.
Yeah, if you surge, you can then detonate the engine, can't you? Because it could, you know, you end up with no fuel in it. But always best to call in, and especially at the Birkett, always best to call in, isn't it, and do a quick change.
Yeah, this is it. This is the beauty of the Birkett. You know, if you have a problem with a car, if you can get back, you can get another car out, and then you've got time to fix it while the other car's out there. So that's why it is really good for cars that are not normally designed for sort of like endurance racing, which we're doing 45-minute races normal, which is still quite a while. You know, we're trying to do double that stint, so you know you're going to have some strains on the cars.
All right, Scott, thanks very much. I'll let you get back, so I take you're going to put your helmet on and get ready to go out again.
Yeah, just sit in the car and hope there's no problems. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, hope to see you at the end of the event.
Yeah, thank you. Cheers.
And you'll have to tell me, are you the handsome one or not?
I think Ryan would say he was the handsome one.
Okay, good to see you, Scott. Cheers now. Thanks very much. So there we are. That's our current leader in the handicap, Scott, and his twin brother Ryan. And like I say, 2 cars, 3 drivers. 3 cars, 2 drivers. Very ambitious, but That's all to play for. Back to you in the studio.
Yeah, thanks, Lewis. And now they're in 4th overall on scratch as well, because the RJ Motorsport 2 car has been deducted about 20 laps. They're now in 66th overall on scratch.
Another lap's been completed by RJ Motorsport 1 in the meantime, so whether they are in the pits...
They're miles ahead of RJ Motorsport 2, aren't they?
They could stop for a pub lunch or something, couldn't they, and still get back out in time.
Exactly, and this may help Darkside development as well, who have been going very well. Last time round, the Darkside car was way quicker than RJ Motorsport 2.
Yeah, they must have unchanged in Team 56 as well, but they're only 53 seconds behind RJ Motorsport.
No, in the old days, back in the 60s, it was just a flat-out blind from Copse to Beckett's, a flat-out blind from Chapel down the Hanger Straight. It is now Hanger went a little bit further. Didn't go onto the infield deviation, which took you down to Vale, but just another slightly dipping straight to Club, which is just on your screen there.
But Darkside Development's doing very well at the moment, and but there is still risk in that team because of the structure they've taken in terms of the cars and the drivers.
Yeah, there's the TT now, isn't it? Just turning its way through Abbey. 2 minutes 26, so perhaps the TT not quite as quick as the Golf.
So, I've just got out of the second stint in the TT, only managed 45 minutes in it again, and then it started spluttering, and we've put 45 litres of fuel in, so it's using about a litre a minute, which is about where we expect to be. It'd be nice to be a bit less than that, but the fuel surge is still happening, so not ideal. Scott's gone out in the Golf, and he's doing pretty well now, which is good. We are in 5th place. Overall, all these cars at Edras are like much quicker. Like these are what, 15 seconds or more quicker, and then this one's 5 or 6 seconds quicker than us. There's a car behind us that's a little bit quicker and a few behind. So I think realistically the best position we could be in, if nobody above us has problems and we have no problems, it's probably 7th or 8th on the road, which is pretty good considering it were dry. We thought like 20th would be good. But always a car blown up on track. But if you look here at this blown up Radical, which is not going to help their handicap, we're first in handicap, but this is based upon the two cars that we've got, the TT and the Golf, are running very similar times, being a second or two. But then the Mark II one, roughly 9 or 10 seconds slower per lap. And we've not used that because of the cooling issue. So the guys who are doing the handicap have said, why have you not been out in it? When are you going back out in it? How long are you going back out in it for? And because we're probably not, they're going to have to rejig the handicap, which at the minute we're over a lap ahead. Whether they've rejigged it or not, I'm not sure, because I think we were 3 laps ahead earlier. But we'll see what we can do. We might have to take the Mark II out just to keep things fair, or they might just have to recalculate everything, and I'm not sure if they can at this point. But anyway, I don't want to do anything that would mean we win by cheating, but it's not our intention to have done that, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully everybody's not falling asleep, a 6-hour live feed, but if people are just dropping in and dropping out, no problem. Enjoy it.
Briefly appearing in the back of that shot, and there is the 13 car, the Darkside development car, which is now sort of half the length of the Hamilton straight behind.
Yeah, I think they might actually be on. Yeah, they're on one different handicap lap, so I thought they were on the same, but they're one different. But on we've got now the handicap results after 4 hours, and it is 13 Darkside developments leading by 2 laps, or 1.5 laps, I guess it is, to 61 Road Troopers. So there's loads of cars on 110 laps, but Darkside Developments have got this lead, something like a lap and a half.
Yeah, they're going well, aren't they? But they lead Class B as well, Road Troopers leading Class C.
Yeah, so if Darkside Developments continue how they've been going, you'd think it's going to be difficult for anyone to catch them, but plenty of time to go, 100 minutes of racing.
You will probably get to the end.
Scott Parkin had his hand out the cockpit driving down the Hanger Straight there.
To signify what, I wonders?
Whether he was trying to get air into the cockpit, but that's probably not an easy thing to do with a tiny little the perspex window they have on that. But this is a really well-built car, though, the pace they're doing, isn't it?
It is.
223s.
Good-looking thing, too. It looks the part, and in that kind of black and bronze kind of sort of a Duracell bunny. And
only lapping a few seconds slower than Phil Nibb's been doing in the TTR Sayat. So, and I think that's on slicks as well, isn't it?
And that's a kind of proper deal, isn't it?
So, and it's obviously Scott Parkin's driving it well. And driving it a lot as well. and then coming through next is Scott Parkin. So that's 4th and 5th together in shot on the same lap on scratch positions. A BMW turning its way into Abbey Corner. Is the Etheridge car, and then going after them is Scott Parkin in the Gulf. Here's the BMW then. Scott Parkin did a slow lap because he dropped away, 2 minutes 32 there for Parkin, because he looked like he was getting quite close, and now he's falling away, so not sure what happened in the second half of that lap to Scott Parkin.
Just have been trapped behind some other cars.
Starting to look concerning, isn't it, for our handicap leaders? Where are they?
They were. It was over at Beckett's. We last
It
saw
stopped.
it. Stopped. Oh no!
The drama. So this is our handicap race leader, the Darkside Developments team, Team 13, Scott Parkin, who was slow on the last lap. He didn't come into the pit, but that was a mistake, and he's getting out the car. And his brother Ryan Parkin will be in the pit lane. He'll be seeing if how quickly he can get out onto circuit, because it's absolutely vital that they don't lose much time here.
And we know the other car won't run an hour. And we've got an hour and 6 to go.
That's right, and the car's in a place where it can't be recovered, can it? Not there. So the Mark II Golf might be needed. And this really throws everything up in the air on the handicap race, because on the last hour, on 110 laps, there were 7 cars. So we've said it, you just can't count anything out, can you? So there is Scott Parkin. I think he's got a mobile device out to let them know back in the pit lane that the car's not going anywhere. So we should have to look out to see if the TT is out on circuit at all.
They can hitch a lift back, climb into the Mark II, which we know is not working very well.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a bit sick.
Darkside have come through in 6th place, 4.5 minutes lap. So they're falling behind the Prep and Lay Racing team. So on the scratch positions, they've only lost 1 place in all of that, but they've lost about a lap, which is the important thing. So they were leading on our last hourly bulletin by a lap and a half. If they've lost a lap, that would suggest that they could still be in there. There's a TT.
It's just gone past his brother, who's all parked up.
But the bigger, so are they going to try and sort of lift and coast to get the TT through the 65 minutes?
They won't do that and not lose out to the BMW if Brian Branson can run. Is it Etheridge or Branson they're worried about here?
Yeah, so it's Etheridge in the car at the moment, isn't it?
Can run to the end, potentially.
Safety car boards. So that's what the yellow flags were about. The safety car's being called presumably to clear the parking gulf. So we've got a really interesting, I think, final hour of the race to look forward to, Marcus, which Ian Stamen will talk with you all about it.
Yeah, this is intriguing, and here we go. This first safety car, 5 hours into this 70th anniversary Holly Birkett 750 Motor Club 6-hour team relay race.
Hi guys, just to keep you updated to what's going on with the Darkside Developments car. Well, that's the race for the handicaps, isn't it? It was Scott Parkin, as we know, who parked up the Audi TT. He's actually, well, so at the moment Ryan is out on track, but Scott has got to come back and jump in to the Mark II Golf, which is earlier in the interview. Early in the day when I interviewed him, he actually said had a problem. At the moment, he's making his way back here as quick as he can to pit 2A to jump into the Golf. And as the speculation was, maybe the Audi can only do 50 minutes. Maybe with a safety car, they might be able to stretch that a little bit longer.
And Scott Parkin then heading back to Garage 2, as we heard, and will be there ready and waiting to get out in the Mark II Golf, should that be required. It might depend on how long this safety car period lasts for, but I suspect it won't last for terribly long, because they'll presumably take this car off, or they're taking it off here at Stoke Corner, aren't they? So constantly and consistently.
So there's the length of the Hamilton Straight between these two duelists for the handicap honours. Darkside Development's Audi Team 13 still more than a minute ahead of the 7 Series Midlands, the class leaders at 32.
And just news on that team, Marcus, as well. The reason that car stopped, the Golf stopped out on circuit, Scott Parker car, it was a sensor failure that cut the car, cut the power in the car. The sensor's been fixed and the car is ready to go again, so they may not need to depend on the Mark II now.
Really slow. Yeah. Not really slow, but the time on straight was just counting up and up and up. And we just stumbled a couple of times and I just thought, this is what it is for.
Now I've noticed that the 7 Series car, 7 Series Midlands, are now just 20 seconds behind Darkside Developments. Does that mean, and they're gaining at 5 seconds a lap, does that mean that the Golf is not particularly happy? Or is it just as a result of that pit stop to put Scott Parkin back out again?
Let's see what the next lap brings and see if the gap continues to come down. But if it keeps coming down at 5 seconds a lap for the next 10 minutes, then we're in for a grandstand finish.
And Ian, I've just noticed that Darkside Developments have dropped out of the top 6. They are now represented by the TT, so that's another late change. So it looks like the Golf wasn't very well.
Coming to an end, there's the checkered flag to bring an end to this Birkett 6-hour relay race. It is RJ Motorsport 3 that take the victory then. 7th and 13 Darkside Development, who had to do another late car change at the end. Cars still battling as they come up to the checkered flag, but it's academic now because the 6 hours are complete.
A really great effort by the Darkside Development boys. The Parkin twins, they got robbed by that problem with the Golf fairly late on, but I think it's been an absolutely cracking race. It's been really clean racing. There's been 1 or 2 bits of drama.
So the end of the day, a little bit hectic. Danny's pressed record on his camera and it didn't record, so I'm going to put that down to negligence, and he'll be getting a letter, a written warning. Yeah, really happy. We ended up with a problem with a Golf. I think it was a metering valve on the rail pressure sensor, but that could also be because the pumps failed or something like that. We've turned that many link modes off on that car that we need to put it all back on and actually figure out the problem. But Scott losing power, he ended up having to retire. Part of the rules are if Scott jumps out of the car and gets over the barrier, I can set off, so I set off in the TT. It did another 45 minutes, but that was as much as he could do, and I think we had like half an hour left to go. Fixed this while I were out. Scott went out, did 1 lap, said it was good. I got out, went to the toilet, then Scott said it wasn't good. I had to go back out again, doing the last sort of 30 minutes, something like that. So
I'm absolutely shattered now because I didn't even have a chance to do what I needed to do, to get a drink and all that sort of stuff. But the TT were absolutely fine in that last session, really happy, and I think we were 7th overall and first in class, which is our class as non-slicks, sort of race car, but sort of more track day rather than race car. But obviously the other stuff above us were all like full-blown race cars on slicks. There were one TCR team, and then the rest were radicals and stuff like that. So, happy with the result. I think I'd have liked to have been 5th or 6th, but the last couple of pit stops absolutely ruined it for us. Yeah, a bit of confusion with a goal, Mark 2, where obviously that's causing a few issues. We'll sort it, really happy. I'm sure there'll be more to add to this, but we'll sum this up for today. Danny's life's going to be difficult enough getting all the footage together. Really happy.